And honestly, Hafid, I have gone to a point now where I have had enough. I think it's time for us to start to protect our players from the national team. Bro, I don't care what kind of war starts between Barcelona and Spanish national team. I'm at a point now where I'm saying it right now, bro. We need to start putting a ban on our players. Look, you know what, right? One player that wasn't in the game, unfortunately for us, Hafid, was Lamine Yamal. He wasn't even training on Saturday. And after we heard the news from Flick, right, who was, you could see in the press conference, he was furious, right? Look, man, I'm not going to lie, that whole thing pissed me off. I don't know if you've seen the video that I made on Sunday morning, right before the game. Dude, I'm not going to lie, man, that news coming out, right, that this guy was given painkillers. Dude, you know what it is, right, Hafid? I'm going to say this now. Because you've been a Barca fan for as long as me, right? You've seen in the second half, in the second Laporta regime, right?
Yeah.
The amount of young players that have come out of La Masia in the last few years. From Gavi to Pedri. I'm sorry, no, Pedri was sport, right? But, you know, one of our young players, right? Ansu. Now Lamine. Bro, how many of these players that I've just mentioned have nearly been ruined by the national team? Pedri in his first season was played over 70 games. He played every single game in the Euros, in his first Euros, and in his first Olympics. Right? What happened 2 seasons later? He kept on having injury after injury after injury. Until last season was like the first season where he was actually injury-free. And it's funny because he didn't even start the season because he was coming back from injury from the Euros. Right? Ansu Fati kept on overplaying him. Look at what happened with that. Gavi is not even fit right now. He's not even fit right now, Hafid. Why is he not fit? Because of the injury he suffered during the Nations League game for Spain against Georgia. And now here we are. Bro, when I heard the news, honestly, Hafid, when I heard the news, and I heard, because we already knew from the Bulgaria game, we heard that Yamal was injured. We heard that. And we were thinking, okay, Yamal is probably going to return back early like De Jong. You understand what I mean, right? But he didn't. And we saw him play against Turkey, and we thought, he played well, performed amazingly. Maybe the injury wasn't as bad as we thought. And now, apparently, it was as bad as we thought. And now, to make it worse, we now find out that the league, the Spanish Federation, or the Spanish doctors, gave him painkillers. And now we're hearing that apparently they were not aware of the pain he was going through. Bro, Yamal and his people said that they gave him painkillers before the game. Why would they give him painkillers if he wasn't complaining?
For meaningless games as well.
For meaningless games. Bro, they won 6-0. Hafid. 6! You're telling me when you guys were 2-0 up or 3-0 up, you couldn't take off Yamal then? But no, he played 79 minutes. And honestly, Hafid, I have gone to a point now where I have had enough. I think it's time for us to start to protect our players from the national team. Bro, I don't care what kind of war starts between Barcelona and the Spanish national team. I'm at a point now where I'm saying it right now, bro. We need to start putting a ban on our players going to the national team. I'm being dead serious, right? Because you've done it with Gavi, you did it with Pedri, now you've done it with Yamal. We're not going to let you guys keep taking our players, injuring them, and then throwing them back at us so that we can fix the mess you made. Not good enough. And things need to change now. So for me, Hafid, I'm being dead serious. I'm at the point now where I'm looking at Laporta. I'm saying, Laporta, bro, you need to start protecting our players. Okay? These guys can keep taking our players and bringing them back injured. But what did you think about this whole situation here in what the federation did, bro?
It's a really hard situation because if I'm De La Fuente, I'd be doing the same thing. I want my team to look nice. I want to put the best players I can. Of course, we both have our Barcelona hats on. But it is hard to... Huh?
No, I'm still here.
No worries. It's hard to deal with because you're seeing your players get run out, being overplayed when they don't have to be. And the squad depth for Spain is absolutely fantastic. This is not like, a Turkey or a Bosnia or a Serbia where they need, Like, this is an absolutely quality side. And when you can rest your players, protect your own players well for, upcoming, maybe more important games and the fucking World Cup coming up in almost under a year's time as well, it's a bit annoying. And yes, like you mentioned, a lot of the Spanish players have been ruined by the national team recently. Gavi, Pedri for a bit, Lamine, even you can put Dani Olmo in that bracket too. And it's hard to watch. It's hard to see. And I think this will be a step forward in the right direction. I don't think we can really pull, players from the national team. I don't think we have that power. We do have the power because we do pay their wages and stuff. But it's still a hard situation to deal with. That's why you have to have good relationship and good communication, because they have the power. We have the power to take Lamine Yamal, but they have the power to take Lamine as well. So it's very, very even though we're the ones that pay his wages. So it's interesting, and I think the most important thing is to have constant communication and the good camaraderie between the Barcelona management and the Spain management.
Look, man, I hear all of that, but I think it's deeper than just this, because obviously players get injured, right? You can't prepare for those. That's fine, right? But it becomes a problem when you're playing players who are barely 100%. That becomes a problem, because now you're basically showing, okay, well, listen, we're only going to have him for one more game and then he's going back to his club. You understand what I mean, right? And that's how they dealt with it. Let's be clear, they have it, right? They knew they didn't have to deal with this medical issues with Yamal. They knew Barcelona now. This is now Barcelona's mess to deal with, and that is the problem, right? Because they don't have to fix the mess. We have to now have to bring him back fit, bring him back to 100%, so that they can call him back up. You understand what I mean, right? And this is where my problem lies. Yes, it's playing for your national team is about pride. I'm all for it. I'm not even against the whole thing. You understand what I mean, right? But you got to protect these players, because, like you mentioned, the clubs pay their wages. You understand what I mean, right? And this is going to become an issue. You understand what I mean? So yeah. I'm just like, nah, man. I'm sorry. They have to do better. I'm not hearing this whole thing, man. They need to do better, Hafid. It's not good enough. It's not good enough, man. And I'm not gonna lie, I was fuming when I saw this whole thing. But now Yamal is out, and the worst thing is, we don't even know how bad Yamal's injury is now, because he didn't train, right? And they haven't told us if he's even going to be available for the game against Newcastle. And that's where my problem lies. It's this early in the season, we're already having injuries into our key players. This is not good news. This is not good news. So I'm not going to lie to you, man. This things need to change. Things need to change very, very quickly, man.